What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So we all know that Mayor Brandon Johnson has been on a mission to make sure that he holds up for the illegals that are over here in America. He's been on that mission. I mean, that fourth grade teacher is just yes, man. He's a fourth grade teacher and he's just on a mission to take care of all these illegals. He's proud about it instead of take care of his taxpaying ass citizens.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
It's crazy out here. If this was the 1800s, we would declare him as treason. How dare you go against America like this? But this is neither here nor there. So we're going to dive off into this. And I got Danny C, from Chicago and things like that. She's been promoting the Flip Red Chicago situation for the longest now. Shout out to her. And she's a huge advocate about Chicago flipping red. And she's not playing any games out here. And yes, I don't think that she needs to do so. Her and others is Chicago. So we're going to go here now and we're going to check this out. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
But let's start with immigration tonight. And we're going to go first to News Nation's Alex Capriello, who's live in Chicago. Chicago was one of the first cities to be hit with these immigration crackdowns. Alex, the city's mayor responded today. What did he say?
Yeah, this was brand new information that came in, a letter directly from a committee in Washington, D.C., asking Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago to appear next month in front and testify along with mayors from Denver, Boston, and New York City. Obviously, sanctuary cities all across America are under a microscope right now due to the local laws and ordinances that protect immigrant rights. But Chicago, nonetheless, has been subjected to those raids, as we saw border czar Tom Homan in the city over the weekend, overseeing the operations of immigration and customs enforcement. Now the mayor has been alerted that he is under investigation. At this point, his legal counsel is taking a look at the letter that was sent directly to his office to see whether or not that is an actual mandate for him to come to Washington, D.C., or simply an invitation for him to do so. Let's take a look at some of that letter in specific. I'll read it to you from James Comer, the chair of that committee, who writes, quote, sanctuary jurisdictions and their misguided and obstructionist policies hinder the ability of federal law enforcement officers to effectuate safe arrests and remove dangerous criminals from American communities, making Americans less safe. 4 cities, however, stand out in their abject failure to comply with federal law: Chicago, New York City, Denver, and Boston. Citizens of all 4 cities have suffered due to sanctuary policies. Let's take a listen to Mayor Brandon Johnson earlier today at City Hall as he continued to reinforce his sanctuary city status and how he will continue to fight back against President Donald Trump and his immigration policies.
The type of fear that this administration is trying to incite, we are demonstrating that we are going to protect the residents of this city, and we're going to continue to challenge the federal government to make critical investments in the lives of people who want a better, stronger, safer Chicago. And so just like we dealt with the crisis at the border when the Republican Party attacked our city, sending buses without notice, we got through that. We're going to get through this moment, and we're going to get through it together.
Hold on here. What?
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Stop, Brandon. Hey, you little fourth grade teacher out here, you need to stop. Now, he done clearly said a mouthful of garbage out here. Hold on, real talk. Listen, look. So he's just, I'm going to hold up for the residents of this city. What residents? Do you mean the ones that are paying the taxes so y'all could house these immigrants out here, these illegals? I'm going to stand firm. I'm not going to be scared of Donald Trump's administration. He's not going to make us fold and things like that. We're not going to tolerate anything, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to stick by these illegals, and I'm going to make sure that they live a prosperous life here in the city of Chicago. And okay. Then you want to get on Texas. Hold on. Shout out to Governor Wheelchair out there. So if y'all remember, the governor of Texas said, okay, y'all want all these people in these sanctuary cities, because Texas is not the sanctuary at all. Y'all want all these people, and he starts shipping them buses up to these sanctuary cities. So now Brandon Johnson has something crazy to say. Let's go. I'm gonna rewind this back to what Brandon just said about that situation. Hold on here.
As he continued to reinforce city status and how he will continue to fight back against President Donald Trump and his immigration policies.
The type of fear that this administration is trying to incite, we are demonstrating that we are going to protect the residents of this city, and we're going to continue to challenge the federal government to make critical investments in the lives of people who want a better, stronger, safer Chicago. And so, just like we dealt with the crisis at the border when the Republican Party attacked our city, sending buses without notice, we got through that. We're going to.
Oh, so you mean as a sanctuary city, Governor Wheelchair down in Texas, shout out to Anton, he came up with that. You mean to tell me now Texas had attacked Chicago? Hold on. They had attacked you by sending you the very individuals that your sanctuary city is supposed to, take upon. So you're supposed to allow these illegals in your sanctuary city, but Texas attacked you and sent you these illegals? Come on, Brandon. Which one is it going to be? Either you want the illegals to come to your city, or either you don't, because you can't be attacked with the same individuals that you said that you want because you're a sanctuary city and you allow all types of illegals in your city, but then no two on the back end, now you're being attacked. This shit is ridiculous out here.
Going to get through this moment, and we're going to get through it together.
Right, I guess.
And as I mentioned, Border Czar Tom Homan here in the Windy City over the weekend. We heard for the first time from Superintendent Larry Snelling from Chicago Police Department. He says that immigration and enforcement have taken in at least 100 people here in the Chicagoland area for detainment related to those federal immigration policies. It's also important to note that while Mayor Brandon Johnson continues to say that President Trump does not have a true pulse on the heartbeat of America when it comes to the way we feel about immigration, of course, the majority of Americans vote.
Obviously do. Look at how. Okay, hold on. I think he was going to say something. Hold on.
Voted for President Trump based in part on his immigration policies. And
right. The sweeping majority of America voted to get these people to fuck up out of here. Come on, man.
Specifically here in Chicago, Elizabeth, a very small fraction leaned to the right when it came to November voting.
All right, Alex Capriello reporting live from Chicago. Thanks so.
All right, so this is where that's at. We're going to go here now, and we're going to go to Danny C. You know what I'm saying? And she's been one of the lead factors, and I know we've seen her all over TikTok, things like that this past year, stuff like that. She was on Anton Daniels' broadcast at one point, things like that. She's been truly representing her and others. I'm not trying to diminish anybody's credit, but her and others in Chicago are truly trying to push against this situation that Brandon Johnson has got them in financially and morally out here. Seriously. So, yeah, we're about to go here now and see what she had to say. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
I just watched Brandon Johnson do a press conference. This man is hell-bent on destroying Chicago and not listening to the Chicago citizens. But you know what? I know somebody who do. President Trump, if you get this video, please, you are the people's president. You are the one we voted for. You are the real MVP. You are the one, you are the voice of the people, President Donald J. Trump. This man is hell-bent on destroying Chicago and going against everything that the Chicago citizens want. Thank you, President Donald Trump, for listening to us and hearing us, because we Chicago Flips Red and push to get you in office because we know that you're the answer, and the only way that we're going to make a real change in Chicago if we flip Chicago and Illinois red. That's our main purpose. We want to make Chicago great again and get these crooks up out of the office, because we know they have no good, ill intentions for America, the Democrat Party. Now, we want to thank you, Mr. President, for listening to us and caring about us citizens of Chicago. Because we have made a change, because a lot of people in Chicago came out and voted for you. Thank you, Mr. President, for hearing us and summoning Brandon Johnson to Washington about what's going on with these illegals. We, the citizens of Chicago, have demanded and asked him. We want a forensic audit. We need a breakdown of how he spent our taxpayer dollars on these illegals, because we know that him and his administration and those aldermen have stolen a lot of our tax dollars. So we have demanded a breakdown to see how it was spent, who it was spent on, and how much of our tax dollars was spent. And we have yet received anything. Even William J. Kelly, the reporter, have been asking about this. So we ask you, and we're giving you, and we want to give you, if he do not show up in Washington, then we are asking you to send the DOJ, FBI down here, because we are demanding a forensic audit, because we.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Yeah, so Danny C, you know what I'm saying? Like, send the FBI, all the alphabet letters out here. We need to check on Brandon, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? In all reality, whether y'all like this or not, what I'm finna say, whether you like it or not, Brandon Johnson, he on some treason shit. Now, I know they got these sanctuary laws in place and stuff like that, but as we can clearly see, it's a lot of these cities, Boston, all these places, you know what I'm saying? These officials, they're rolling back. They're trying to get on board, things like that. Adams up in New York, you know what I'm saying? He trying to clear up the goddamn pool out here. You know, of course, you know, all of them in California right now, they got too much going on right now. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they didn't let billions upon billions of dollars worth of prime real estate burn out there. So yeah, they got a huge problem with just that alone. So, you know, the legal situation right now with them is kind of mute at this second. But, you know, with the Chicago thing, man, all right. So yeah, he got a summons, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day though, Brandon, you need to get your tail to Chicago. Let's keep going, see.
We know, Mr. President, that you listen to the people. And if we can't get justice here, then we're going to go to the federal level. Then, to add insult to injury, this man had the nerve to go and try to impose a $300 million property tax hike on the citizens. Now, he had stolen all of our money. And then he had the nerve to come back and try to tax us on the community, on a city that has already been economically stricken of everything. We are already in an economic crisis, especially in the urban communities and the Black communities. And this man want to get up there and talk about how you are doing things to hurt the Black community. No, he's doing things to hurt the Black in the urban communities.
Right.
Mr. President, you are the people's president. You are listening to the people, the everyday working class, poor, middle class citizens. And we are asking you, if this man don't cooperate with you and don't come down there to Washington, then that's okay. We want to give you ammunition to come down here, because we're demanding, the citizens, Chicago Flips, we're demanding a forensic audit of how our money was spent, and also about how our money was spent with these COVID funds, because they use that too to fund this illegal alien scam. So if this video gets,
hey, that's just the truth, because there was a lot of hotels out here between Chicago and New York and things like that in these major cities. They got record numbered profits off the government giving these hotels money to house these individuals. You know, the Roosevelt Hotel was definitely one of them in things like that. They got all this money, you know, off housing these illegals. This is wild right here. And she's definitely on point with what she's talking about. it needs to be a whole audit of the situation, just like Donald Trump wants to audit the government of the spending of the country. Yeah, the cities and states need to be audited too.
To you, Mr. President, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to us, for hearing us, the citizens of Chicago, Illinois, for hearing us, for caring about us, and doing what you promised to do on your campaign trail. Thank you. And thank you, Tom Homan, for coming in Chicago personally and help getting these illegals out of our community. We don't care about just the ones who committed a crime. The crime was when you came over here illegally. That was the crime. When you cross that border illegally, you are therefore a criminal, therefore making you have committed a criminal act, and you have to go and come back the right way. So thank you, Mr. President. And we ask you to come to Chicago and help us clean Chicago up.
Yo.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Shout out to Danny C. Definitely on point with these factors and stuff like that. Yeah, man, this is crazy out here. So Brandon Johnson is going to double down. He's not giving up. He's not going to, allocate itself like the other administrations and things like that of other states and cities. And yeah, so he's going to stand 10 toes down, him and his fourth grade students. Yeah, man, it is wild out here, the situation that we're in over here in America, where we have these officials that are not holding up for the taxpayers, but yet and still they want to hold up for people that are not even paying any money over here, that are not, paying any taxes or contributing to our society in any type of way, just sucking all of our resources out of us as American citizens. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.